Hello friends, welcome back to Reader's Library. Today, we are going to talk about a book that has helped millions of people around the world overcome one of the biggest obstacles in life, and that obstacle is fear. The book is called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, written by Susan Jeffers. Susan Jeffers was a psychologist who herself struggled with deep fear and anxiety, and through her own healing journey, she developed this powerful approach that has now become one of the most trusted guides on courage and confidence. Have you ever felt like fear is holding you back from taking a big step in your life? Have you ever avoided an opportunity just because the fear of failure or judgment felt too heavy? If yes, then this video is going to change the way you look at fear forever. We've distilled the most life-changing lessons from Susan Jeffers' work into one comprehensive guide, so you can master these concepts in minutes rather than months. If you're ready to stop letting fear dictate your choices and want to join a community of learners committed to growth, subscribing helps you stay with us on that journey. So let's understand, in detail, how you can feel the fear and still do it anyway. Susan Jeffers begins the book with a very powerful truth. Fear will never completely go away as long as you continue to grow in your life. The moment you step out of your comfort zone, fear will always show up. So the goal is not to eliminate fear. The goal is to build a new relationship with fear. Now, let's understand the 5 truths about fear, which form the foundation of this entire book. Truth 1. The fear will never go away as long as you continue to grow. Many people believe that once they become more confident or more successful, fear will disappear completely. But Jeffers says this is a wrong belief. No matter how successful or experienced you become, every time you take a new step forward, fear will appear again. A person giving their first public speech feels fear, but even an experienced speaker giving a speech on a much bigger stage than before will feel fear too. Fear doesn't disappear with growth. It simply changes its form. So the only real choice we have is not to wait for fear to go away, but to move forward despite it. Truth 2. The only way to get rid of the fear of doing something is to go out and do it. We always assume that once we are ready, once we feel confident enough, then we will take action. But Jeffers explains this order is exactly backwards. Confidence does not come before action, confidence comes after action. Every single time you push through your fear and take the action anyway, your confidence naturally grows. If you keep waiting to feel fearless first, you will keep waiting forever, because fear only reduces once you've already gone through the situation. Truth 3. The only way to feel better about yourself is to go out and do it. Jeffers shares that our self-esteem is built by taking action, not by thinking about taking action. Every time you push past fear and try something new, whether you succeed or fail, your self-image strengthens because you now know, I can handle it. This is why people who take more risks in life, even if they fail many times, develop far stronger self-esteem than people who avoid risks altogether. Truth 4. Not only will I feel fear whenever I'm on unfamiliar territory, but so will everyone else. Jeffers explains, whenever we see someone successful, we assume they must not feel fear like we do. But in reality, everyone feels fear when entering unfamiliar territory, no matter how successful or confident they may appear from outside. Even the most accomplished entrepreneurs, artists, and leaders feel fear before every big new step. Understanding this helps us stop feeling alone in our fear and helps us realize that fear is simply part of being human, not a sign of weakness. Truth 5. The fear will diminish only after you have made a decision. We often feel our worst anxiety when we are stuck between 2 choices, unable to decide. Jeffers explains indecision creates far more fear than actually making a choice, even if the choice turns out to be wrong. The moment you decide, your mind shifts from panic mode into action mode, and this itself dramatically reduces your fear. She shares this idea with a simple example. Imagine you are lost in the woods with two paths in front of you. As long as you keep standing at the crossroads, unsure which way to go, your fear and anxiety will keep increasing. But the moment you pick one direction and start walking, that decision itself brings you relief because your energy shifts from worry into movement. Now, let's talk about how our mind creates fear in the first place. Jeffers explains that most of our fear is created by something she calls chatterbox thinking. This chatterbox is the constant negative voice inside our head, which keeps warning us about all the things that could go wrong. This voice says things like, what if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I look stupid? What if I lose everything? This chatterbox voice convinces us that the outside world is dangerous, when in reality, most of the danger exists only in our imagination. To fight this chatterbox, Jeffers introduces a very powerful technique called positive self-talk. Instead of allowing your mind to repeat fearful thoughts, you consciously replace them with empowering statements. For example, instead of thinking, I can't do this, you train your mind to say, I can handle whatever happens. This single shift in internal dialogue can completely transform how we experience challenging situations. Jeffers also introduces the concept of the pain scale versus the pleasure scale. Every choice we make in life exists somewhere between pain and pleasure. When we live constantly on the pain side, avoiding risks, avoiding new opportunities, staying inside our comfort zone, our life becomes small and unfulfilling. But when we choose to move toward the pleasure side, taking action despite fear, growing, exploring, and creating, our life expands into something much bigger and more meaningful. She encourages readers to consciously ask themselves in every decision, am I moving toward pain or am I moving toward pleasure? Now let's understand the powerful concept Jeffers calls the chart of life. Life can be lived from two very different levels. Level 1 is victim thinking. In this level, we constantly complain, blame others, avoid responsibility, and feel like life is happening to us. Level 2 is learner thinking. In this level, we take full responsibility for our life. We see every challenge as an opportunity to grow, and we understand that we always have the power to make choices. Jeffers strongly encourages readers to move from victim thinking into learner thinking, because only learner thinking gives us true control over our life. Let's talk about a story shared in the book. There was a woman who was terrified of public speaking. Every time she had to speak in front of a group, her hands would shake, her voice would tremble, and she would feel physically sick with anxiety. Instead of avoiding these opportunities completely, she decided to say yes to every speaking opportunity that came her way, even though the fear never fully disappeared. Slowly, with each experience, though the fear remained, her ability to function despite the fear increased dramatically. Within a year, she was confidently leading full seminars in front of large audiences. Her fear did not go away completely, but her relationship with fear had completely transformed. Jeffers also shares a very important truth. Fear is never really about the external event. It is always about our lack of trust in our own ability to handle whatever comes. Once we understand this, we realize that building fear-proof confidence does not mean removing all uncertainty from our lives. It means building an unshakable trust in ourselves, so that no matter what challenge shows up, we know deep inside, I will handle it. To help readers build this trust, Jeffers introduces a very simple but powerful mantra readers can use whenever fear arises. Whatever happens, I'll handle it. She explains that this single sentence has the power to dissolve almost any fear, because most of our fear comes from imagining that we won't be able to cope with a certain outcome. But the truth is, human beings are remarkably capable of handling situations once they actually arrive. we handle job losses, breakups, failures, embarrassing moments, and even major life crises far better than our fearful mind predicts we ever could. Jeffers also explains an important concept called the no-lose model of decision-making. Whenever we make a decision, whether it turns out to be right or wrong, we always gain something valuable from the experience. If the decision works out well, we gain success. But if the decision does not work out the way we hoped, we still gain valuable lessons, growth, and strength. This means there is truly no such thing as making a wrong decision in life, because every path teaches us something important, as long as we choose to learn from it. This mindset removes an enormous amount of pressure from decision-making, because we understand that every choice ultimately benefits our growth. Now let's talk about how we can rebuild our confidence daily, using small, consistent actions. Jeffers suggests that instead of trying to eliminate fear completely, we should practice doing one small thing every single day that pushes us slightly outside our comfort zone. It could be speaking up in a meeting, making a phone call you've been avoiding, trying a new activity, or having a difficult conversation you've been postponing. Each time you take this small action despite fear, you send a powerful message to your subconscious mind. I am capable, and I can handle discomfort. Over time, these small daily actions compound into massive personal transformation. Jeffers also talks about the importance of taking full responsibility for our own happiness. Many people wait for external circumstances, other people, or perfect timing to feel confident and happy. But Jeffers explains waiting for the right moment is often just another form of fear in disguise. The right moment rarely arrives on its own. We have to create it ourselves by choosing courage over comfort again and again. Towards the end of the book, Jeffers reminds readers of one final, powerful truth. Fear will always be a part of life, especially whenever we choose to grow, explore, and expand beyond our current limitations. But instead of running from fear or waiting for fear to disappear, we must learn to walk directly through it. Because on the other side of fear is where our real potential, our real freedom, and our real fulfillment truly exists. Susan Jeffers reminds us that every person who has ever accomplished something great in life, athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders, all of them felt fear at some point. What separates successful people from others is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to feel the fear and do it anyway. Thank you guys. I hope you liked this video. Now, here's a question for you. What is one small, scary step you've been avoiding? Drop it in the comments below. Let's hold each other accountable to do it anyway. And if you want more breakdowns like this, subscribing helps this channel keep growing. We'll be back soon with even better videos. Thank you so much.